It has stood for 4,500 years. Modern engineers with cranes, computers, and laser technology say they cannot build it again. Not in our lifetime.
2.3 million stone blocks. Some weigh more than a diesel locomotive. And they were placed with precision. That gap between the stones? Across 756 feet of base, the margin of error is less than half an inch. Total, 3 pyramids. Perfectly aligned to 3 stars in Orion's belt, to within 1/10 of a degree. This was not an accident. Archaeologists have known this alignment for decades. What they cannot agree on is whether ancient Egyptians had the astronomical knowledge to plan it.
In 2013, a journal was found, written by a foreman named Merer. It was a daily work log from the actual construction of the Great Pyramid.
Merer wrote that his crew transported 170,000 tons of white limestone by boat up a purpose-built canal directly to the pyramid site. Ground-penetrating radar confirmed it. A hidden harbor once existed right here, beside the pyramid. The Nile came to the stones, not the other way around. This harbor was the beating heart of the greatest construction project in human history. 10,000 workers, every single day, for 20 years. The quarrymen used copper tools, softer than the stone they cut, and yet they extracted blocks with surgical accuracy, thousands per month. Wet sand reduces friction by 50%. We know this because a 4,500-year-old Egyptian tomb painting shows them doing exactly this. It was engineering, every block, every day. Quarried, transported, floated, and placed. The logistics alone should have been impossible, and yet it worked. In 2014, a team of physicists from the University of Amsterdam tried it. Wet sand, wooden sled, no machinery. It worked almost perfectly. The physics of it was elegant, but the horizontal movement was the easy part. The real question, the one that still haunts engineers today, was vertical. The capstone of the Great Pyramid sits 481 feet in the air. Getting a 15-ton granite block up there without a wheel, without a pulley, how? The most popular theory, a ramp. But to reach the top at a workable angle, that ramp would need to be longer than the pyramid is tall and contain more material. A French architect named Jean-Pierre Houdin proposed a different answer in 2007. An internal spiral ramp, hidden inside the pyramid itself. Inside the pyramid are passages we have never fully mapped. In 2017, cosmic ray scanning found a hidden void the size of the Statue of Liberty. Nobody knows what it is.
Muon particles pass through stone like X-rays pass through flesh. When scientists aimed detectors at the Great Pyramid in 2017, they saw something that should not be there.
The void is real. It has been confirmed by 4 independent teams using 3 different technologies. What is inside it, no one knows. No one has ever been inside. The builders of this structure left us no instruction manual, no blueprint, no theory. They left us only the object itself, and 4,500 years of questions. In 1990, a tourist's horse stumbled on a hidden wall. It led to the discovery of the entire city that housed the pyramid builders, and it changed everything we thought we knew.
The workers were not slaves. The evidence proves it. They were fed beef, fish, and bread. They had doctors who performed surgery. They were paid.
This bakery produced enough bread to feed 10,000 workers every day. The organization required to supply, schedule, and feed that workforce was itself a feat of engineering. These people had names, homes, families. When they died on the job, and many did, they were buried with honor near the pyramid they built. Their tomb inscriptions say they were proud. One reads, "Friends of Khufu," not slaves of Khufu, friends. They built this willingly. In 4,500 years, the paint has not faded. These colors were mixed by human hands that also laid the stones of the Great Pyramid. The same hands.
We know how some of the blocks were moved. We know who the workers were. But knowing the ingredients of a miracle does not explain the miracle.
A retired structural engineer spent 15 years calculating every known variable. His conclusion, 2500 BCE, it is still theoretically possible, just barely. Every credible theory collapses at the top. The final 50 courses, the last 100 feet. We still, genuinely, honestly do not know how they got there. The king's chamber, deep inside the pyramid, is lined with miles away in Aswan. Getting them here required crossing the Sahara. Above this room are 5 hidden chambers, designed specifically to redirect the weight of the pyramid away from this space. Without them, this room would have been crushed flat.
Aswan, 500 miles south. The ancient Egyptians left us a clue, an abandoned obelisk still stuck in the earth, showing exactly how they cut it. They pounded it, grain by grain, using balls of an even harder stone called dolerite. No cutting, no explosives, just force, repetition, and 10,000 working hours. 500 miles, upstream. A journey that took every single block. For decades, the barges never stopped. Some engineers believe a counterweight system was used, the pyramid's own mass leveraged against itself to assist the lift. Elegant, brutal, unproven.
The Great Pyramid is aligned to true geographic north with an accuracy and built 4,400 years later using modern instruments, is less accurate.
A device called a merket, a split palm rib, an astronomer could locate true north by bisecting the arc of a circumpolar star. No compass, just the sky.
4,500 years later, modern GPS confirms the ancient astronomer was more precise than a French meridian survey conducted with 18th century instruments.
The pyramid's base covers 13 acres. Its 4 corners vary in height by less than 2 centimeters total. That is a laser-level result, achieved without lasers. Always, perfectly, everywhere on Earth. The Egyptians knew this and used it to level a 13-acre platform before the first stone was placed. In 1994, Robert Bauval proposed the Orion correlation theory. Mainstream archaeology rejects this. Not everyone agrees. When the pyramids were built, but in 10,000, 8,000 years earlier, what were the Egyptians pointing at? At 10,500 BCE, 7,000 years before Egypt, someone, somewhere knew more than we thought.
Some researchers threads connecting ancient cultures separated by thousands of miles. Others call this pattern seeking. The debate is fierce and unresolved. The stones do not speak.
The mainstream answer to how the pyramids were built, the evidence, the papyrus, the village, the tools, supports this.
And the Sphinx's erosion patterns, which show rainfall weathering in a region that hasn't had heavy rain for 9,000 years.
The Sphinx's erosion was 7,000 to 9,000 years ago. Either our dating of the Sphinx is wrong, or something else is. The Sphinx stares at the horizon, where Leo, the lion constellation, rose. A Sphinx is a lion. Some say this is no coincidence. In 1991, ground-penetrating radar found cavities beneath the Sphinx. Preservation. Critics say suppression.
3 separate research teams have formally requested permission to excavate beneath the Sphinx. All 3 have been refused. No explanation beyond bureaucratic delay has ever been given.
This passage is aligned to within a fraction of a degree at the North Star in 2560 every stone, running for 300 feet downward. It was not an accident. This chamber was never finished. No one knows why. 120 feet below, in solid bedrock, there is a pit that descends further still. The last survey of this pit was in 1986. No full exploration has been authorized. We do not know what is at the bottom because no one has. We are standing beside the greatest object humans may ever have built, and we do not understand it. 8 million people live within sight of this structure. Tens of thousands of tourists visit it every year. And inside it, right now, no human has entered in 4,500 years. In 2002, a tiny robot was sent up one of the air shafts. It reached a sealed stone door with copper handles. It drilled through. Behind the door, another sealed door.
The robot traveled 210 feet up a shaft, ate and found a sealed door with copper handles. No one has opened it. No one knows what is on the other side.
Hieroglyphs on the floor. Never seen before. On the far wall. On the far wall, another sealed door. The pyramid keeps its secrets behind layers.
In 2012, the Egyptian Supreme Council of Antiquities suspended the project. The robot was removed. The door remains sealed. No new exploration. In 2023, an updated muon scan revealed additional unknown spaces beyond the void found in 2017. We are discovering new rooms without entering the pyramid at all.
One theory, these are construction voids, part of the internal ramp system, now sealed by debris. Another theory, they were deliberately sealed.
Beneath hoards beneath the Sphinx, containing the history of a civilization. Most Egyptologists dismiss this as myth, but myths, sometimes, are memory. Boston University geologist, the Sphinx shows precipitation-induced weathering. Giza hasn't had heavy rainfall for at least 7,000 years.
Mainstream Egyptologists point to salt weathering. Ancient flood events, wind erosion, and subsurface moisture can all produce vertical patterns. Schoch's interpretation, they say, is not the only possible reading.
The honest answer, from archaeologists on both sides, is this. We know more than we did ago. We do not know enough. The pyramid is still ahead of us.
Within 3 years, we could have a complete 3D map of every space inside the pyramid, without removing one stone.
Cosmic rays pass through the pyramid every second. They have been mapping its interior continuously for 4,500 years. We are only now learning to read their message.
3 theories. 3 different understandings of what the pyramid is and what it was for. Each is internally consistent, at most can be right. Then human capability in 2500 BCE was not less than we imagined, it was greater, perhaps far greater. To place every block on schedule, workers had to position a 2.5-ton stone every 2.5 minutes around the clock for 20 years. This is In 1837, an explorer found graffiti in the relieving chambers, Friends of Khufu. Drunkards of Menkaure. These people had humor, they had pride. They were not slaves. They were Egyptians, building for their pharaoh, their god, their eternity. They believed what they were building would last forever. They were right.
The same sun, the same stone, the same desert. The descendants of the pyramid builders still live here, 4,500 years later. The project never really ended.
The most compelling new theory? External ramp for the first 60% of the height, then an internal spiral ramp for the final 40%. Both methods, used in sequence.
These notches were never explained. Houdin proposed they held the structure, a wooden counterweight lifting system. They fit, precisely. The counterweight descends, the block rises. Simple physics, under the weight of 400 feet of pyramid above, every day, for 20 years. The mortar between, it was a lubricant, allowing the blocks to slide into final position. Once seated, the stone's own weight held everything. No adhesive required. The mortar formula used in the Great Pyramid, it contains a blend of gypsum and trace minerals not found locally. The formula has never been fully replicated. On a laboratory reside the most studied structure in human history. Some materials the Egyptians used we still cannot trace to a source. The knowledge chain is broken. The Great Pyramid is not a construction achievement. Simultaneously applied, perfectly integrated. No single person could have understood all of it. When the Library of Alexandria burned, it is estimated that 40,000 scrolls were destroyed. How many of them contained the technical secrets of the pyramids, we will never know.
The pyramid encodes pi, the golden ratio, and the length of the solar year in its proportions. Mathematicians about this for 2 centuries. They are still arguing.
If something is found in those sealed chambers, it will be one of the greatest archaeological discoveries in history. The world will have to rethink 4,500 years of assumptions. Right now, tonight, researchers are scanning the pyramid with technology that did not exist 5 years ago. The answer to the question of the sealed chambers may be months away. We know it was built by humans. We know it was Egyptian. We know the workers' names, their food, their medicine, their pride. That knowing all of this, the how still eludes us. The question of how the pyramids were built is really a larger question. What were humans capable of? Every answer we find rewrites the story of what we are.
Gideon, the pyramid stands, complete in everything but its crown. Like a question, answered in stone, but not yet finished.
Stones that are long silent. We did not build this. We inherited it, and we are still learning what it means. The Great Pyramid was built, that we know. Everything else is still being answered.
and the pyramid is very, very patient.